Released in 1989 comes The Return of Swamp Thing, a movie that I saw a lot when I was younger. And checking this one out now for the first time in a good number of years, I can understand why I enjoyed it as much as I did. Now, looking at the Swamp Thing movies, Swamp Thing is the better made movie. It feels more somewhat realistic and a little bit more tangible. The Return of Swamp Thing feels more cartoony. It feels within the vein of G.I. Joe or Mask, that kind of idea. It has these ridiculously over-the-top creatures, and it just feels very cartoony of sorts. And that's not a bad thing. It's a definite change of pace for this movie. Swamp Thing is running rampant, cleaning up whatever's happening in the swamps. Of course, we have Arcane, who's doing experiments on people, turning them into kind of mutated creatures, of which Swamp Thing has to battle and defeat at times, and it's wonderfully hokey. There is a sensibility of almost Godzilla-ish about this. Men in suits fighting, and somehow it just becomes fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. The characters, the plot, even the poster of this thing is silly. It looks overly bright, overly lit. The sets feel flimsy and very produced. Nothing about this feels authentic at all, unlike the first one.
Another disappointment. I tried mingling his genes with a Phyllis Yusu species.
A what?
Cockroach.
But that creates a kind of air of playfulness, almost like a kind of pantomime in front of your very eyes as we're watching these larger-than-life, colourful characters doing incredulous things. Even Arcane or Heather Locklear, who plays Abby, his granddaughter, who turns up, it's one-dimensional characters that are there to do a specific role, to further the story, a specific way, to be a love interest, to be a victim, to be a twisting element of the story. And they all play their part fine. They all kind of have this knowing nudge, nudge, wink, wink about the way they're doing their performance. And it's just kind of fun. Now, I like Sarah Douglas, who turns up in this one. She's always an actress I like to see appear in these kind of movies. And here she's playing a kind of evil scientist, of a few different evil scientists that we have going on here.
Dr. Arcane is a great man. He's a genius. Sometimes you have to indulge greatness.
Was that your job here, to indulge him?
Louis Jourdan comes back again as Arcane, and he looks about as engaged as he could possibly be. Jim Wynorski directs this one, who did Chopping Mall, who did Deathstalker 2, who did Munchie, a bunch of movies that never quite had the budget of this. But when you see his movies, you certainly see a kind of similar thread that runs through them all. That kind of tongue-in-cheek, little nudge, nudge, wink, wink at the screen, the people watching. Is very playful with what it does, and they feel very caricatured, and it leans towards the more comedic in certain aspects.
Me? Your boyfriend?
Why not?
You said it yourself. I'm a plant.
That's okay. I'm a vegetarian.
It doesn't bother me so much here, as I just enjoy the idea of these 80s Swamp Thing movies. Now you get Dick Durock as Swamp Thing. This time around, the costume seems more manoeuvrable, and there is more articulation within his face, and there's some wonderful moments as we get to see him actually converse and interact. Now, there are some ludicrous moments in this. The script is ridiculously silly, and I just don't care. Even the bits that are just so hokey, they're laugh out loud funny, are enjoyable because they're laugh out loud funny and just silly. Return to Swamp Thing. I really enjoyed revisiting this one. I think I prefer it to the original, which is the better movie, but there is just something so over the top and ridiculous that kind of reminds me of the difference between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2 Secret of the Ooze. It has that kind of feeling of just leaning more into a comic booky world, which I kind of appreciate. a little bit in this one. So there we have it. Swamp Thing on 4K. Great. I'm so happy to have both of these on 4K. Tremendous watches, and I would highly recommend them. I'd love to know your thoughts on the return of Swamp Thing if you've seen it. So let me know in the comment box below whether you like it, hate it, find it completely absurd. Whatever your opinion is, let me know in the comment box below. We can have a little discussion about this one. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always, we make sure you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.